Meet ORIA, the world's first audio interface and monitor controller designed specifically with immersive audio in mind. Built for creating immersive audio mixes for formats such as Dolby Atmos, ORIA lets you calibrate, control, and monitor multi-channel speaker arrays. From stereo up to 9.1.6 and everything in between, ORIA is perfect for music, film, TV, game, and VR production. In this video, we're going to look at all of ORIA's features and how they can help you and your journey into the world of immersive audio. ORIA is designed with a dual purpose and can be integrated into your studio in two primary ways. Firstly, ORIA can be used as an all-in-one studio solution, acting as both your USB-C interface and monitor controller, with two console microphone preamps, 16 channels of speaker outputs, and 16 extra preamps connected via ADAT expansion, perfect for immersive mix rooms or small tracking studio setups with immersive mix capability. Secondly, you can effortlessly integrate ORIA into a pre-existing and more expansive studio setup, as ORIA can also operate as an entirely standalone monitor controller, using either the ADAT ports or the optional Dante card to feed 16 discrete channels to your speaker system from an existing audio interface. Regardless of how you choose to utilize ORIA, all immersive setups require a great sounding room. In a perfect scenario, we would all mix in acoustically perfect rooms, calibrated to be completely neutral and flat. In the real world, this is almost never the case, and more speakers means more issues with room modes, EQ bumps and dips, and more potential for speakers to be in less than ideal positions. And because of these challenges, working with multi-channel speaker setups requires a precisely calibrated room. But let's face it, calibrating your room is a difficult and time-consuming process. But what if it didn't have to be? ORIA's advanced speaker processing lets you create custom onboard calibration profiles, presets, for any monitoring format from stereo to surround to 9.1.6 immersive setups, making sure your room sounds great in all formats, and making reference checking your mix in different monitoring formats quick and easy. Using ORIA's onboard processing power, often referred to as DSP, each speaker can be adjusted using an 8-band EQ, per speaker delay lines, individual level trims to compensate for those small level differences, and advanced bass management controls, so if some of your speakers are smaller, for example the height speakers, you can send the low end out to the subwoofer. Although it is possible to calibrate your room manually using the aforementioned DSP, this can be a complex and time-consuming process, often outsourced to paid professionals with detailed knowledge of room acoustics. Not ideal. So in order to make calibrating your room with ORIA fast and simple, we've teamed up with SonarWorks. SonarWorks are heavyweights in the calibration industry, and we've partnered with them to provide a deep integration between the Sound ID reference software and ORIA's onboard advanced speaker processing. Every ORIA unit ships with a Sound ID reference measurement microphone and includes a 60-day trial of the multi-channel Sound ID reference software. Using the Sound ID measurement microphone alongside Sound ID reference gives you the ability to accurately measure and calibrate a multi-channel immersive setup in less than an hour. Once you have created your SonarWorks calibration profile, it can be directly loaded into ORIA's onboard DSP, meaning your room stays calibrated whilst taking the CPU load off of your machine, delivering low latency audio, leaving your computer with more headroom for running CPU-intensive mixing sessions, and allowing a deep integration into our profiles. More on that later. ORIA gives you powerful new ways to truly take control of any stereo, surround, or immersive environment, courtesy of its purpose-driven software, giving you the ability to use the ORIA software app, ORIA's front panel motion UI control, or iPad app to control calibrated volume levels, choose which speakers are active, check your metering, and switch between different profiles. ORIA's desktop software app is the central hub for controlling ORIA, and the concept of ORIA's control revolves around profiles. Simply put, each profile is a collection of levels, calibration parameters, and choice of speakers condensed into one easy button press. For example, you might have your 9.1.6 immersive speaker setup perfectly calibrated at 85 dB with a flat tonal signature that could be stored as Profile 1. If you needed to check the same speaker setup with a Dolby Atmos music curve, you could store that as Profile 2. Now you want to mix on a completely different set of stereo near-field speakers with their own calibration settings? Make that Profile 3. Up to 32 profiles can be stored on the ORIA unit, and for ease and convenience, up to 4 of these can be made favorite profiles and switched between with a single press of the button on the front of the unit or from the iPad remote, giving you the flexibility where you need it. The ORIA software app is designed to make working with large numbers of speakers and configurations easy. Speaker groups are color-coded for quick navigation, per speaker and speaker group mutes and solos are reflected as you make changes, as well as global volume dim and cut. Other monitoring functions like return to reference level can be assigned to the user-defined function button on the front panel. If you're working in film post-production, making sure your audio is in sync with the image is paramount, and for that reason, we have included a global lip sync delay, which can be stored in each profile, so you can switch between low latency monitoring for recording sessions and perfect video sync straight afterwards with no complex reset needed. When working with the Dolby Audio Atmos renderer, it is often necessary to check your work on non-immersive combinations of speakers, such as 7.1, 5.1 or stereo, to make sure everything you've been working on translates to everyone in your audience. This is a process known as downmixing. We have worked with Dolby to let you take control of the Dolby renderer's downmix functionality directly from ORIA, stopping you from having to switch screens in the middle of a session. Instead, ORIA lets you quickly cycle through different downmix formats using ORIA's dedicated hardware control or from the iPad app. ORIA's software app will also provide the renderer status so you know which format you are monitoring in at all times. In many setups, ORIA may be rack mounted and away from arm's reach, so to bring the control to you, we are pleased to introduce the ORIA iPad app. The iPad app, available for free in the App Store, extends the functionality of ORIA to the tips of your fingers. Never miss a beat with the remote access to all of ORIA's control features from one remote control hub. Adjust levels, audition speakers, switch profiles, and monitor your metering, all directly from your desktop. Precise control without the complexity. With a huge array of connectivity options, ORIA provides more than enough I/O to take on immersive audio mixes, whilst also having the flexibility to operate as a high channel count recording interface. Plug in your surround speakers via the analog TRS lines or AES outputs. Connect your near-field speakers to the 2 dedicated stereo output pairs, which are relay switched from the immersive left and right channels. These stereo pairs can be used independently of your immersive speaker configuration, meaning you can keep your favorite near fields dedicated to stereo mixing without having to compromise. ORIA also has 2 discrete headphone outputs, which can be independently configured to either duplicate the main left and right outputs or to have their own outputs fed from separate channels to provide concurrent access to a stereo mix or binaural render. When using ORIA as a USB-C interface, use the ADAT input to add another 16 channels of preamps to expand the system into an 18-in, 16-out system for a versatile studio setup. When using ORIA as a standalone monitor controller, use the ADAT input or the optional Dante card to feed 16 inputs from your pre-existing studio system into ORIA's onboard calibration and monitoring system, meaning you don't have to uproot and change everything in a more complex environment, just add ORIA in and go. For large studio complexes or educational facilities, ORIA has an optional Dante card. Providing up to 16 channels of audio over IP, ORIA's optional Dante card lets you quickly integrate with new and existing audio over IP networks, making your move to immersive seamless. If using ORIA in conjunction with any other digital audio hardware, word clock in and out are provided on BNC connectors, enabling you to keep your digital world in sync. Whilst ORIA has a whole host of new and innovative features, we haven't forgotten about audio performance. Thanks to a massive 126 dB of dynamic range, your mixes will sound more detailed than ever with ORIA's high-performance AD to DA converters, designed to be as transparent as possible, giving you total clarity for taking your immersive mixes to the next level. And for those of us who need the ability to record at every stage, ORIA has 2 of our award-winning console preamps inside, meaning you can add sources like a vocal performance with zero compromise on quality, even at the final stages. And for the first time ever, the Audient console mic preamp is now remote controlled, optimized to give you the sonic benefits of all its analog design alongside pinpoint accurate digital control. Connecting via a high-speed USB connection, ORIA offers ultra-low latency monitoring and rock-solid driver performance for both Mac OS and Windows, supporting 24-bit 96 kHz. As you can see, ORIA's purpose-driven design delivers a powerful and user-friendly solution for working with multi-speaker arrays in the surround and immersive field. For more information about ORIA, subscribe to the Audient YouTube channel, where we have several videos diving deep into what it can do. We look forward to seeing where you take Atmos made easy. Thanks for watching, and have fun mixing immersive.